Hey, this is Andrew Brown. We're going to continue on using the Amazon Bedrock workshops. I already have everything running here. I'm just going to go back to the top level directory here. And we're going to go back over to the workshop and take a look at what's next. So the next thing is about text generation. And so here we can see that there are a bunch of things that we have here. There's some stuff that we've already kind of done, like we did the zero-shot generation. But let's go take a look and see what we can do that is different. It looks like here they are integrating with LangChain. So this is another way that you can work with Amazon Bedrock. Personally, I like Llama Index, but LangChain is totally fine as well. So we'll go ahead here and we'll make a new folder and we'll call this text generation and we'll just modify the code based on what we want to do. So the first one is zero shot gen. So we'll go ahead and make a new notebook here calling it, whoops. We'll go ahead and, no, that's fine. We'll just drag it into the correct location. And we'll just rename this to zero shot generation, or gen for short. And we'll go back over to here and we'll click through to this one here. We might already have it open as a tab. We do not, but I'll just close out some of these tabs here. Leave this one open. We seem to use that one a lot. Here we are on the left-hand side. So let's take a look at what we have. And so we were starting to use this already, but here it was suggesting that it was using LangChain, right? Yeah, see, they're using SageMaker Studio as well. This one's using Amazon Titan Text. Where's the LangChain? Let's go back over to here. Bedrock and integration with LangChain. Okay, where's the LangChain? So this one is a very simple example where they are doing what? So here, yeah, write an email template. And to me, that's fine. But maybe we could go use this with something other than the Amazon Bedrock thing. So you know what? I'm going to do what they didn't do, and I'm going to go ahead and actually use LangChain. So let's go ahead and learn how to use that. I usually use, again, Llama Index, so I'm not the best at this one, but I'm sure we can figure this out very quickly. So what LangChain is and Llama Index, it's basically like an adapter to many different types of LLM models. In fact, it kind of conflicts with Amazon Bedrock because Amazon Bedrock gives you access to a bunch of models, but LangChain ecosystem and the Llama Index ecosystem is a lot more robust for stuff. So what I might do here is just rename this and forget the zero shot thing because we already did that. We'll call this LangChain as this example, and we'll figure out how we can do this very quickly. So what I want to do here is just get started with it, how-to guides. Any kind of code examples, and I'm not getting anything here, so API reference. How do I get started? Just show me an example. Come on. Let me find some stuff here. Give me a moment, okay? All right, just click through the first one here, which is simple. And so the first thing I want to do is install it. So we'll go use pip here. And we'll put this here. And so that should install LangChain. We'll choose the Python 3 kernel. And so that will get us started. We're, of course, going to want to have, I don't know if we need to get Bodo 3. So maybe we'll leave that alone for now. But let's go take a look at the next step here. You know what might be better if we type in like LangChain Bedrock example. Here we go. So here we have pip install. It seems like we also might need this. So here it says text completion. We'll go to chat completion. Hold on here. So you're currently on a page for model text completion. Many popular models available on Bedrock are chat completion. You may be looking for this page instead. Okay. And here it says chat Bedrock, which is fine. And technically we are doing text completion, so the other one was totally fine. But we'll just continue on here. So down below, it looks like they have a specialized library. So LangChain Bedrock integration. So we'll go ahead and grab this. And I mean, we'll just put them on separate lines. I'd like to do that most of the time for this kind of stuff. And we'll go ahead and grab this example next. And by the way, I'll grab this URL just in case you folks are looking for it. Drag this all the way to the top. And we'll change this over to Markdown. There we go. It says, does not currently take into account packages that are installed. This behavior is the source following dependency conflicts. So it seems like this behavior is the source of the following conflicts. So I'm not sure if that means that because that one was installed, it's conflicting. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one out. It's very unusual. I might have to restart the kernel completely. Restart the kernel. Okay. Sometimes, like when you reset the kernel, this things might still be installed, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, and so this one's not causing any problems. I just want to point out that if you do this and you don't have that other one in there, it might still break just because of the nature of Jupyter Lab notebooks. So hopefully you don't run into any problems here. So here we have an example with Claude Sonnet 3. I believe that this is still recent, so that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to call this client. I kind of prefer it to being called a client. And down below here, we'll scroll down. Got unexpected keyword CLS. So we scroll up. I'm not sure what's wrong here. Now, are these the same model IDs? Like if I grab this one, will it match up to that list? It does. That's through purchase provision throughput. But it also matches here. So I'd rather try something that I'm more comfortable with, like Haiku. And so we'll go ahead and try this instead. And so here we're getting what? Why? And so this is where it's a bit frustrating. Again, like I personally, when I'm building out LLMs, I don't use Bedrock at all. I just use LangChain or Llama Index because it kind of negates the purpose of Bedrock here. But we will see what we can do here. I am using LangChain with Bedrock. I probably should have told it that first. And we'll see if I can figure it out here. I don't know why it keeps bringing that there, but we don't have Bodo 3 installed. So maybe that's our problem. So what I'm going to do, go all the way to the top here. Now let's do Bodo 3, and we'll also do LangChain. Let's see if that fixes our problem. LangChain. I'm going to restart our kernel, clear all outputs. We'll start on over. We'll try this again. And hopefully we don't get conflicts, because that's what I'm worried about here. We'll just give that a moment, okay? So I don't know if this error actually is a problem or not, so I'm just going to kind of ignore it, and I'm going to go ahead and try to run this again and see what happens here. And notice I didn't get a problem, so maybe this is just not a problem, but you know, my feeling is that these are the three that we'd have to get installed, right? So now we have our client here. Let's continue on and see if we can make this work. So here we have an example. Okay, so here, translate a sentence from that to English. Just going to tweak this to be client as I prefer this. And this will be response instead. We'll just be kind of consistent with what we're writing here. And we'll go back over to here. And we'll say response, and we'll see what happens. There we go, so it works. So that's our simplest example of using LangChain. Now LangChain, the idea of these systems is that it allows you to orchestrate multiple agents together, reach out to databases, data stores, do all sorts of things. Amazon Bedrock has something similar, which is prompt flows and agents, but this is within the AWS ecosystem. Same thing with over at Microsoft, where you have Azure AI Studio. They have prompt flow, which has the same darn name as that one. And so these kind of compete with these open source ones. Again, the open source ones are a lot better. And so if you're going to build something for real, use LangChain or Llama Index. But that was our basic example of LangChain. Let's go ahead and make one with Llama Index now. So we'll go here and rename this. We'll say Llama Index. And we'll look for that example, Llama Index. We'll say Bedrock. And one place where I ran into trouble, like it works fine, but where I ran into trouble with Llama Index with Bedrock in particular, is that you cannot easily track tokens. And this is a problem with Bedrock, not Llama Index. It's just the way that Bedrock returns data, and whoever's maintaining that there. So here we're going to pip install that. I don't know what the exclamation mark does, but I mean, it seems like we would also need Llama Index, so sure. We'll go ahead and do that. I'm not familiar with all the different syntaxes. I just usually do percentage here. And so here we have a very simple example. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this one here as well. You can see you can launch this in Code Lab there. We'll go all the way to the top. And we'll scroll up. So we'll go here. And here it's talking about profile name. We do not have a profile because it's just being loaded internally here. So we don't need to necessarily put that. Here it's going to try to use Titan Express, and it wants to complete Paul Graham. I don't like Paul Graham, so we'll take this out of here and we will say something else. What is some other kind of text that we could put here? We could do anything that we want. So maybe we will place Star Trek here. See if that works. And so maybe we'll just print the response here. I'm not sure what we get back here. Oh, that one's still running. I should have been a bit more patient. If we go back over to this example here. Oh, they just printed out like that. Okay. And here they have a bit of a variation in terms of how you can do it. Is an American franchise based on, etc. So there we got LangChain and Llama Index. So that's good for those two types of text generation. We want to continue on and see what else there is that we can pull from value from these workshops, if there is any. So we will go back over to here. So we didn't bother with that because we kind of already did it. Here we have zero-shot generation that can leverage code generation. So here they're talking about generating out code. And then we have summarization. So this is something that we probably want to know how to do. I feel like that would be on exam. So go here and say code generation. Code gen. We'll do that one next. We just use the regular Amazon Bedrock API for that. We don't have to use LangChain or Llama Index, just to make our lives a little bit easier here. And so we will go back, close this one out here. And so I want this one open here. We'll see what we have. This one is using what? Claude Sonnet 3. Okay. And here they want to create a CSV file and generate out some code. Wow, this one's a bit more complex. So we have a few use cases. We have, what do we have? We have code generation. Well, let's separate those into two separate things. We don't need to have them all in one here. So I'm going to go back over to here. And we're going to go to our, I'm going to put this here to the left, to our code generation. And I'm just going to back out here for a second. And we will go up to here. And I will grab Boto 3. We'll drag this over. This one's fine. We'll just save that. We'll close a few of these out. So we'll do Boto 3 here. And we'll then import all these. Don't even really need a space there. I'm not sure why I did that. And then we need our client. Great, and then we'll go back over to our code generation examples. This is not the correct one, it's over here. Nope, this one is old. We'll go here. And so here it's saying, let's set up some CSV data. So we'll go do that. And we'll run this. Okay, so it's created a CSV file somewhere here, I would assume. Well, it's somewhere. As long as it knows where it is, that's all that matters to me. Oh, you know what? It's because we're in this directory. Here it is, right? So we open that up, and so this is sales data that it just created, which is fine. We'll go back over to here. And so then we have our prompt. So we'll grab this. What is it doing? So you have a CSV of sales data with the following columns. Create a Python program to analyze the sales data from a CSV file, and it tells it some instructions as how to do that. We'll bring a new tab down here. We'll go over to here. We'll grab this, which is our body. So that looks fine. This is all fine, I suppose. And then we'll go here and we'll grab this text and we'll see if we like it or not. So here we're bringing in IPython display. So that's going to allow us to have some kind of interesting display markdown. So it's going to format the markdown. We have the model. We have JSON content type. This is fine. We can bring this down on new lines here. And I like to bring this into a separate line here. It's just easier to debug when you have them separated out like this. And then this line here can just be with this here because this is what it actually is for. And if we run into problems, we can now debug this. So just say resp here. And this will be resp. This is just body. And then we will assign that body. Okay. We could put one line between that there. So hopefully this works well. You know, we'll just keep updating this here, making this a little bit nicer. I think this is missing the C here. So we take that out there. And that's so much easier to read, I think, anyway. So we'll continue on here and we'll take a look. And we'll run this. And we'll run this. This is Bodo3 Bedrock. That's because we just call it client here. So we'll try that again. We'll give it a moment here. And we'll run this. And then we'll run this. And so, oh yeah, it actually outputted code. So this is the code that we could use to analyze it. Now the question is, would it work? Right? So now the next thing we could do is we could grab this code, output a code, and then we could see if it actually works. So let's go run this and see if that works. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. So pretty simple example of code generation. Another one is SQL generation. So let's go ahead and make a new notebook for that. And we'll say select. And it might have a lot of the same stuff, but I like to always separate these out so they're just a little bit easier to read here. And so we'll go back over to here. Oh, and I guess they just, yeah, they pasted that there as well. I didn't realize they were going to do that. So this one is going to be similar, but instead it's going to generate SQL. So we'll go back over to here and we'll just start grabbing stuff. So this will grab, and this will grab, right? And then we'll grab this. And then we'll grab our CSV creation here. And then we'll go down here and we will, now this is where it changes, right? This is where the prompt might be a bit different. And so we'll go back over to our example here. And we'll grab this prompt. And notice the format's different. So I'm thinking that maybe this is a different LLM. So they have a database, generate queries based on that. There is no database, so we'd actually have to load a database for that to work. And here they're using Titan. So they've actually changed what they're using here. So we'll go back to here, we'll hit enter. And that did not copy correctly. We'll try that again. And the indentation looks a little bit crazy to me. I don't think it's supposed to be indented that much. And I'm going to go up here, sorry, to this one. And not this, but we'll copy this one here. We'll bring this over. We'll go down here. We'll go back to here. Where is it? Here it is. And we're going to use Titan large. And again, as always, if you're uncomfortable with utilizing any kind of span, you can always just watch here and learn, right? So that's going to be the same thing. Response is going to be very similar. The only difference is this here. So I'm going to go here and just add a couple, maybe 3 here. And so we'll go back to this one, and we're going to read the body as such. And then the body results is like that. Take that one out. That's not necessary. And so hopefully this just works. That'd be super sweet if it does. Okay. Then we have our prompt here, and then this one, and then this model. Hopefully that just works. Fingers crossed. This one, and there you go. So it's opening SQL. Now we can't test this because it's not in a real database. We could like load in SQLite and then try to run it against that, but I don't want to fiddle with that today. So now we have code generation done. We'll go back over to here. And we'll go ahead and try summarization. So here, let's take a look here. How's it different? Here it's just going to summarize text using Claude Sonnet. So this one should be pretty easy. So we'll go ahead and make a new notebook. We'll just call this, we'll say select. And this one would be called summarization. Summarization. And we'll just continue on the same pattern as we always have here. So grab Boto 3, even though we don't need it. It's already pre-installed. We'll grab this. We'll put this here. We'll go to the next one. We'll grab that there, Boto 3. We'll go back over to the code. We'll take a look here. And for text generation here, it is invoking a model. So we'll grab the body here. And we'll bring this onto a new line. And what do we call it in the other ones here? This is called what? Oh, it's just body JSON dumps. Okay, so we'll go here and do this. We'll bring this all the way back. This is crazy how indented it is here. And we'll put a parentheses here. And so that fixes that, that format here. This is where you put your input text. I was hoping that this would be a bit better. Are they just showing an example of one? Request syntax of an, oh, this is just the syntax. Oh, freaking jeez. Come on, fellas. Who writes this stuff? I don't know. SDE's level 1, sorry. Okay, so we'll go here and bring this down here, and we'll go back to the prompt. I don't like how their labs aren't consistent with naming between them. Kind of bothers me, but that's just me. So say prompt data here. We'll bring this down onto a new line, and then we'll just put these here so that formatting makes sense. So bring this back to the wall, bring this in here. We'll get rid of this one. Oh, so the text generation here is like this. Hold on here. Did we mess this up? Nope, it's on the outside. Yeah, each one is a bit different, right? So here, this is going to be indented like that. I don't see what the problem is here. It's just trailing white space. So yeah, no problem per se. Okay, so that one's fine. We'll keep running these. And we'll go down to body here. And so now we're on to the next step. And so this one is using Amazon Titan, which is fine. We're going to go ahead and grab our nicer looking code. So we're just doing this with here. So we'll grab this. Yeah, it's still using the same model, I think. And so we'll grab that. thought they were going to use Claude here. Invoke it. And they get the body back, and then they read the output here. So it's just a slide up there, sorry. So we'll go back over to here, and we'll bring this down a couple. And this is going to just be body, as we know. But what we want here is this line here. Okay, you can see this is way, way easier to read and look at. And so we'll run this. And then we'll run this one. And we'll run this one. So the idea is it's taking this text and then it's summarizing, right? Do not add any information that is not mentioned in the text below. So yeah, simple summarization task. It looks like there's also one by Sonnet. So I guess we could do that as well. Notice that this one uses XML tags, so I suppose that we could do that here. I don't really want to. One's good enough, but just point out that like summarization for Claude, Sonnet, likes to use XML tags, right? You don't have to, but this is using 3. So I think that's pretty darn clear for that one. Let's go take a look at the next one. So here it says, we did summarization, so we have simple questioning and answering, so we'll do that next. And we will go back over to here. So we'll make a new file here, call this new notebook, call it Q&A. Q&A. And we'll go through this here. This is a Q&A example. So, okay, why do we need to import warnings? What is warnings? Oh, it's just saying ignore warnings. Oh, that might be cool. I'm going to ignore that because I don't care about the warnings, but if we do see them, then we know where it's actually helping out, okay? So let's continue on here, something similar. So we'll grab this, paste this in here. We'll grab all this. We'll paste this in here. We'll grab our client and we'll drop that in here. Let's go over and see what we have for our Q&A. So here we have our prompt data, which is here. So you are a helpful assistant. Answer questions in a concise way. If you're unsure about the answer, say I'm unsure. How can I fix this answer? Okay, great. And then we have our parameters, which for whatever reason, they are doing it this way. Yeah, so normally we would have this on another line here. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then we have our parameters. Again, I'm not sure why there's inconsistency between them. I guess other people are writing these labs. And we'll grab this here like that. We'll indent these here. Okay, and so I believe that that is proper. And so now we want to bring in this. So this should be basically the same. So we go over here and drop this in. And then we can bring in this here because we're obviously going to want to analyze the body. And I wonder if we could just get output text here. I am unsure. Wow, okay, so here, I mean, maybe it's supposed to do that, but how can I fix a flat tire for my Audi A8? So, you know, it doesn't have enough contextual knowledge to know that. Yeah, so it says, I'm unsure, and that's what it's supposed to do. Another issue can be trying to ask the same question for a completely fake car brand, say Amazon Tiara. And so here, it looks like we are entering more than one prompt. So we'll go ahead and, yeah, so that's probably why they extracted out the parameters here earlier, because they're probably entering them in again and again and again. So I guess I can do that here and just say params. Now that I see why they're doing that, it's because we're doing multiple ones of these. And so here, this is going to be params. And just to make this even easier, I'm going to go ahead and grab this here. I don't normally put it here, but we'll put it right here. I think we can do that, right? And I think it's just this indentation doesn't like it. Here we go. And so that way, what we can do here is now just copy this and just change out the parameter, right? The prompt data. So what we'll do here is try another one. So we'll go down below. And then this one will be new prompt data. And in here we have this one. And normally we don't do it this way, but I'm going to go ahead and do it this way here just to make our lives a little bit easier when we're working with multiples. The reason I like them on single lines is that it's just easier to debug them if you run into issues. And then here we'll just also do this as well. So we'll grab this here and place this here, just because we're going to be doing this more than once here. And then I can grab this here and put this here. There we go. And so we'll just make sure this still works. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. So run the params, and then we'll run this one here. I'm unsure, and then we'll run this one here. Give it a moment. The other one ran really fast. Makes me think that it cached it. And it's thinking for whatever reason. We'll give it a moment, okay? There we go, came back. So here it says, so it's giving us instructions for a car model that does not exist. So that's what it's saying here. So here they're talking about like a method to fix it. So the following is an excerpt of the manual. So what they're suggesting here is what to put the information in here. So like if it doesn't have information, then we provide information. So let's see how, okay, so as you can see, the answer provides is not plausible. It can be augmented on the fly by providing additional knowledge base as part of the prompt. So the following expert of the Audi A8 manual. We take the text and embed it into the prompt together with the original question. Okay. So here we have context. Okay. So we're providing it information. And then we have our question. I mean, we could just simply do this another way, but yeah, this is one way that we could do it. And then we'll go here and grab this here. And we'll run this and see what happens. It seems like it's missing an, okay, yeah, to fix your flat tire for your Audi, this is what you can do. So just understand, like, you can give knowledge part of the context window, and that's how we'll be able to do stuff. The thing is that if you have a lot of information, depending on how large, how much the context window can support, you know, sometimes you can't fit all that information in, or it makes the computation very expensive, and that's where fine tuning would be very useful. So we have this. What do we have here? So since the model takes a while to understand, this might lead to poor performance, kind of what they're talking about. It was pretty quick though. Bedrock also supports streaming capabilities where the service generates out as the output generating tokens. Okay, that's cool. So what that would do is it would print it as it comes, I think. So let's give that a try here. So go here and is there anything different in here? Let me just take a look here. Nope. So I'm going to go ahead here and just grab this here like that. Okay. And I'm just going to type in response. And so here it's returning the stream. But I would have thought there would have to be something different here. Let's go back and take a look here, just carefully. Take a look here. Invoke with response stream. So there is a difference. It's this. And so now let's take a look and see what happens. This one here, yeah, it's still prompt data. This is all fine. So we'll try this again. And so it should make a markdown file and then stream it out to us in place. So it was very fast. So it's suggesting that maybe it was slow, but clearly it's not. But if it wasn't slow, it would be printing it out like word for word here, okay? So I don't know. I'm not sure how I would show that to you, but clearly it's fine. Looks like there's still one more to do here, and we're almost done with all this text extraction. So NLP technique to automatically extract specific data with natural text. Okay, so let's go take a look at this one. So this, I think, is called NER, so named entity recognition. Is it? I think this is NER. I don't know if it's NER, but I'm going to call it NER because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So say NER. Well, this says extraction. I guess we'll call it entity extraction. Okay. And so we'll go back over to here. And this one's using LangChain. Oh, why? Why are we using LangChain here? Is a technique that automatically does this. So we'll go, let's just take a look at what the code does. So we're using Bedrock. And then we are using LangChain here. And then here we have a path. And so we have some kind of data here, maybe emails. Here it is. Okay. Given the email inside the triple backticks, please read it and analyze the contents. And then we have beautiful soup, which is a way of extracting out information from, it's a parser, I believe. It's like the equivalent, yeah, HTML, XML parser. It's like no Kogiri of Ruby. And we'll extract by tags. So if we go to these emails, are these emails in some kind of HTML format? No, they are not. If we go back to this one, I don't know why all of a sudden they've done LangChain here. So here, all right, we're going to try to do it, but I'm not going to use LangChain for this. We'll just do it the normal way and see how we can translate that over. So we'll go all the way to the top here, and we'll grab this. And we'll grab this. It looks like they were using Bedrock, or sorry, LangChain in a different way that we were using. I'm not sure if they just have old code there. And so what do we want to utilize for this? This is using Claude Sonnet. Right, so we're going to go back over to here. Is there one that we use Claude Sonnet? We used one with Haiku. I think it was probably like LangChain or something, right? Yeah. So that's fine. I'm sure we can figure it out. Let's just go back to prompt engineering. Did we use it in here maybe? Chain of thought. Here we use Haiku. So maybe we'll use Haiku. Haiku's more efficient, and it's probably the right thing to use, to be honest. So I'm going to grab this one here instead. Okay, and all the parameters in here, so we don't have to have anything above it, right? Yeah, we don't. But we do need to have the prompt set up. So we'll go back to our entity one here, and we'll go down a line. And we'll go back here and see what kind of prompt we have. So I want to grab this one here. This is the basic approach. And here it says messages. Huh. Oh, and here's the messages here, right? So I can just go here and type in messages. And then what we do is we'll just take this out like this. There we go. And I'm not sure why we're using these weird parentheses like that. Let me just go back for a second. I'm just going to change this to curlies. Okay, and so then this will be this. Maybe that's just like an alternate way of formatting it, but I'm not going to do it that way. I want to do it this way here. And we'll bring this down here. Again, not a super Python programmer, but I seem to be able to figure things out no problem. And so this one's a little bit different where it specifies a role. So we say role like this, system. And then here we're going to have our text. I guess the other one was more concise, but again, I don't really care about that. I just wanted to be clear, not concise in this case. And we'll take off this curly here on the end. And then we need a comma, which we do have. And so then we have this one, which is human role. And then we'll go here and put a comma and say text. We'll go back to this one here. And the query is this here. So literally I can just grab this here and place it in, I think. Maybe I have to place it in like this, yeah. And so I'm not sure what its problem is. Oh, there's no problem now, is there? Try this again. Let's run it again. Undefined string literal. There's something wrong here. Oh, you know what? I'm missing this here right there. Does that fix it? Doesn't like the backticks here. Why not? Well, it doesn't know what book email question is. So that's just probably like loading the data above it. Yeah, it is. Okay. So go here, and now we need to bring in those emails. We only have a couple, so I'll just manually make them here. Say emails. And by the way, I'm in the wrong folder, so let's just go ahead and delete this here. And we'll go back a level, and we'll go into text generation, and we'll make a new folder. I'm not even sure why we even need to load these externally, but I guess it's kind of an example of loading in external files. And so I'll grab this one first. Rename. And we'll grab this one. Okay, and so now we have those two files there. Did we grab the code to load them in our entity file here? I know we have a lot of tabs here, so I'll just close some of them out so we can see what we're doing. And I need in here the loading the files. Here we go, this part here, right? Whoops. Get that out of here. And so we'll bring this down here. And so we're going to load those there. And so now if we, oh, this is LangChain. This is the wrong file, sorry. It's not going to hurt anything, but we'll bring this back over here. I'm noticing it's using that format here, so I guess we did use it somewhere before. I just never noticed, I suppose. And I guess we already have it here, so I'll just delete that out. And we'll run this here. And then we'll run this one. And so now we don't have a problem. So we'll bring this on down. Okay, so this one's ready. Did I mess up one of these other ones here? Just making sure I didn't muck them up. Okay, good. Because I remember pulling out messages here. So oh, it's there. I just didn't do this. Okay, so now we have this set here. And take that comma out of there. It seems like it doesn't like that comma. It's just a white space. Is that its problem? Where? Whatever. I don't think that matters. And so let's go ahead and run this. Messages. System is not a valid enum. Human is not a valid enum. Okay, well, if that's the case, maybe we could just switch this over to Sonnet, because maybe Sonnet has slightly different inputs. I would have thought Haiku would have had the same ones, though. Seemed like they did. Let's go ahead and swap this out. System is not a valid enum. Okay, so we'll go back to this one. We'll take a look again. System, human. You sure about that? Okay, so what we'll have to do is go back and just take a look here. So I'll just say Claude, Sonnet, Haiku, messages. Maybe somewhere in their docs they have this example here. Anthropic docs. API. And I know like this is a different API, but notice here it says role user like this. So that makes more sense. Not human, but user. See, that seems more valid to me. It's human. And then the other one here is going to be whatever the other one is. So somewhere here, there's roles. And so I'm just looking for the types of roles there are. It's kind of hard to find. We'll just ask ChatGPT. When using Claude Haiku 3, what types of roles can we provide in messages? So we have assistant, user. Can you give me a code example? Okay, that's not what I want. Because sometimes like you have 3 roles, you have assistant, and user. And so that's what I'm looking for here. I'm going to go back over to ChatGPT, and I'm actually going to go choose Oak Preview because that one's a bit smarter. I am using Amazon Bedrock with Claude Haiku 3. Can you tell me the names of the roles that I can use in messages? Show me the programmatic name for the code. Because I don't want a description. So give it a moment here to think, okay? All right, so it's still not providing the format that I want. No, there is like a JSON format for messages. You know, e.g. role, like user. I don't know why it's not. Okay, whatever. I guess giving any kind of format like that complains. Let's see if it can figure out what I'm trying to say. We can just make it assistant, but I just feel like that's wrong, right? See, this one's a system. And maybe the reason it says system and human here is because we're using LangChain and they're normalizing it for whatever they use, right? Here it's saying system. Okay. Well, we could try it again here. And here it says content, not text. So let's try this and see what happens. Okay, so I'll give it this here, see what it says. Oh my goodness. And I can't, let's just say this. I guess it doesn't like the JSON stuff right now. And we'll see if it can figure this out. An error occurred when calling the invoke model operation malform input request. Subject must be a valid scheme. Required messages. Role system is not a valid enum. Okay, tell me what they are. You know what I mean? So we'll go here and look at Bedrock API for Haiku 3. And maybe somewhere here, role user. So they're not showing us everything. It's very frustrating. And that is not useful. We'll go here. And this is not useful. Just give me a second, okay? I'm going to try this with Sonnet again. Maybe, again, that because it's saying like, oh, it doesn't do it. It only works with plain text, which I'm not sure if is actually true. So I'm going to go try and switch back to the model IDs for Bedrock and see if that fixes the issue, because maybe it's Haiku 3 that uses plain text, right? So we'll go here and we'll try 3. Not 3.5, but we might switch over to that in a second. Okay, what a pain this is. And it does not like it. So what I'll do here, as this is really frustrating, but you know, like, again, we don't have to do what they're doing. We can modify our code so we can get it to work. But here they're suggesting to just provide the prompt as text. Oh man, you're a helpful assistant, then human. Okay, so we'll try this. So given the emails in this, and we'll just try this. We'll say assistant. And I'll grab this here. And we'll write that here. Not how I would like to do it, but that's just a way that we can do it. And then we'll take our prompt here, and we will provide it into the correct location, which I'm not sure. So we'll go back to this, body prompt. Okay, so we'll try this. And what if we take these out? Can we take those out? We'll just copy what they have here. I really wish they didn't use LangChain for that. And we'll run this again. It's not supported for that one. Okay, what if we just take these two out? Now what do we get? Wow, this is so frustrating. This is unbelievably frustrating. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to go back to prompt engineering, and let's just walk through some examples and see what we have. So we have this one. This one's using Haiku, right? And we have text up here. So maybe this is what I want. I'm going to grab this one here, but then it just puts everything in the user message, so it's not really providing the assistant here. Whatever, as long as it works, I don't care, I guess. And so we'll go back over to this. And just grab the whole prompt here, I guess. Try this again. And so that one is fine. We will grab this here. Put this here like that. And we'll grab this one here. We'll grab that. The book mentioned in the email is Treasure Island. Return it, otherwise don't do it. Okay, so it did that, which was good. Model specific prompts. So let's see what it says here. While basic approach is good, this is a more optimized prompt for it. So here we have another one here. I don't know. I guess we extracted text out here, and that is good enough. I don't feel like doing more here, so I think this is sufficient. And we'll call this one done, entity extraction. And we have now completed all of text generation. So be very excited about that and be very proud for all that completion there. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I download all these first. So let's go ahead and download these. So I'll go here, and maybe I can download the whole directory. Let's see if I can do that. Download. Can I download that? Nope. So I'll say download, and download, and download, and download, and download, and download, and download. And I'm not going to copy the emails over. You can get those yourself. It's not that hard. And so we'll go back over to AWS examples, wherever that is. Here it is. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a new folder here. This will be called text generation. And I'm going to upload here, just be back in just a moment, okay? There we go. We'll go ahead and save this here. And I'll see you in the next one, okay? Ciao.